Hello. Hi, I'm Felicity. I'm a yoga teacher, satisfaction coach, and reflexologist who is empowering people to live a happier, healthier, and more satisfied life that they don't need to escape from. And welcome to the satisfaction session. I come on live on here, wherever you're watching. If you're watching live, every Wednesday at 7 o'clock, almost every Wednesday at 7 o'clock. And sometimes I talk to you about stuff that I've written normally. So I write a blog every week, and sometimes it's quite nice to actually talk through the stuff in the blog rather than people just read it. Some people prefer listening. Some people absorb and learn better from orally rather than from reading. So I just think it's nice to be able to present some of my ideas, both speaking to you and through writing. Sometimes I do some yoga and go through sort of whatever I feel like doing on yoga. And sometimes, which is what we're going to do this week, I do a meditation. I do a live meditation. So I won't start quite yet. If you're there watching live, say hello. Make sure you tell Restream that you're there, because that way I'll be able to see your name when you say hello to me. So it's always good to know if there's someone watching live. And I'll kind of start in a minute, but so in the meantime, perhaps if you want to get into a comfortable place for meditation, it's quite a long one, so I will go straight into it, or go into it fairly quickly. I'm not entirely sure how long we'll go. I'm aiming for about 20 minutes. So if you can't sit comfortably for 20 minutes, it's fine to lie down. It's absolutely fine to lie down and meditate. But part of the reason why we tend to sit for meditation is because it keeps us awake. If you're lying down, it's quite easy to fall asleep. And that kind of defeats the object of meditation, unless you really need sleep. But when we're seated, the idea of sustaining ourselves through a little bit of activity in the legs, which just gives enough to keep us awake, really. And try and keep ourselves talking. And that's all about trying to keep the rib cage open so we can breathe freely and easily. So for the majority of people, especially if you don't do any yoga at all, especially sitting cross-legged or sitting still, use still in the kind of widest range possible. There's no way, your body is never still, because when you're breathing, your body moves, right? But sitting still for 20 minutes is quite a feat. It's quite physically, it's not necessarily an easy thing to do. You can, of course, sit on a chair. If you are lying down, what I advise you do is just bring the feet to the floor with the knees bent. And this, again, just gives enough activity in the body that kind of keeps you awake. So, wherever you are, can you find somewhere to be comfortable? So if you need to do any adjustments, see if you can do them now. Just easing yourself into your meditation space. And take a deep breath in through the nose and sigh out through the mouth. And just let the breathing be natural. Just feel at ease. And really bringing your body or your mind into your body. So there's 4 phases to this meditation. And firstly, we're going to bring our awareness to our sense of touch. So really becoming aware of the sensations in the body. And trying not to ascribe any particular words to how the body's feeling. Just noticing, becoming observant. And can you, in particular, focus on the sensations of the skin, the biggest organ in the body? Can you be aware of where your body touches the ground or your chair? Can you be aware of your clothes touching your skin? If you have a blanket over yourself. Can you feel the air on any exposed parts of the skin? Can you notice the points where one body part touches another? And just hold your focus intently on these sensations in the skin, in the body. And we're now going to move the attention to your sense of hearing. So firstly, become aware of the sounds around you. Of course, the sound of my voice, but are there other sounds around you? Try not to identify the sounds, just be a passive spectator of the sound. Now, whatever the most prominent sound you can hear is, can you really focus intently on that sound? If it disappears, shift your focus to the next most prominent sound. Can you now shift your attention to a more subtle sound? Maybe something more distant. Can you now perhaps notice if there is an internal sound that you can focus on? Most likely your breath, if the mind drifts, just gently bring it back to the sound. Now we're going to move to the sense of smell. So move your attention to your nostrils and see what smells there are around you. If there are no odours, can you be aware of the absence of smell? Now can you move your attention to the sense of taste? What tastes are there in your mouth? And if there are no tastes, can you be aware of the absence of anything taste? And finally we move to the sense of sight. So even though your eyes are most likely closed, what can you see through your closed eyelids? Light and shade, colour. This could be actual movement if you're in a bright space, or it could be visualizations that are coming into your mind. Can you bring that sense of awareness into the mind space, the Chittakash? As we move on to the second stage, becoming aware of our spontaneous thoughts. So allow thoughts to come, to arise naturally. Don't choose or place thoughts in the mind. Do not make preferences between pleasant or unpleasant thoughts. And accept everything that arises with equanimity. But try not to identify with the thoughts. Try not to pursue them. Try not to interact with them. Can we allow these thoughts to be separate to our true nature? Can we merely observe the thoughts as they come and go and let them go? So notice if you lose awareness and gently guide the mind back to a detached observation. And don't berate yourself if you do lose focus. This is perfectly normal. And you can remain at this stage if you feel comfortable here. You can return to observing your senses if that's more comfortable for you. Or you can move to the next stage. But only if you feel this is right for you. So in the next stage, allow you to consciously create a thought. Perhaps something that arouses strong emotions with you. Perhaps allow this thought to sit in your mind for a moment. Observe it from different angles. And try to keep your attention on this thought. So if any spontaneous thoughts come to you, Gently bring yourself back to your consciously created thought. But if anything associated bubbles up, perhaps this can give you new insight. And we're going to take that thought, we're going to consciously dissolve it. Perhaps watch it dissolve or float away like a helium balloon. And then just pause in the empty space that has been created. And then when you're ready, you can bring your attention back to your sense of sight. Still keeping the eyes closed, but can we start to become aware that there's a world outside? And through that thin veneer of your eyelids, there is something else. And we become aware of a sense of taste again. The sense of smell. Can we start to notice other sounds around us, sounds other than my voice? Can you hear what's happening within the room you're in, or maybe outside of the room, outside of your house? And then starting to become aware of your sense of touch. The feeling of air, of clothes against your skin. The feeling of the ground beneath you, and become really aware of the ground beneath you. Become aware of the movement of the body as you breathe in and out. So really becoming focused on the breath, and start to deepen your breath. Taking bigger inhalations. Feeling that you're breathing life and energy back into your body. And taking your time, but when you're ready, when you feel that you're really back in your body, start gently wiggling fingers and toes. Moving the muscles in the face, eyebrows, cheeks. And bringing some Gentle movement into the head and neck. Moving the arms and the legs. Bringing movement into the shoulders and the hips. And into the spine. Moving whatever way you need to wake the body up right now. So maybe having a twist, maybe having a nice stretch. And if you're lying down, maybe hugging the knees and having a rock from side to side. If you're seated, you might want to bring the knees up into the chest and hug them in. And just bring your gaze down. So if you're lying down, rolling onto the side and keeping the gaze to the ground as you gently blink the light back into your eyes. And coming back to the screen whenever you're ready. Coming back into your space. Becoming aware of what's around you. And I hope you enjoyed that. Love to know what you think. It's a very deep meditation, and it's one that you can, if you do on your own, the idea is that with each stage, you do it until each stage gets boring for you, basically. So you kind of focus on your hearing until basically you're completely bored of your sense of hearing, and then you move on to the next sense. And yeah, you can do the stage. There is a stage 4, and I figured A, I've been going quite a long time, and B, it does get very, very deep. And I didn't necessarily feel that it would be a good idea for me to do that on a kind of blind online guidance. So maybe if we get a group together, we can. If you're interested in working towards the full length of that meditation, if there's enough people who are interested in that, maybe we'll do that together. I'm happy to guide it for you if you like. So that's all for this week. Don't know what I'm going to talk about next week. Don't know what I'm going to write about this week either. Sometimes I sit here and I'm like, oh yeah, I've already got the idea of my blog in my head and I already know what's going on. And sometimes I'm just like, what do I write about this week? So if you've got any inspiration, please give me some ideas. I'm gonna run out of ideas eventually, right? I might write about work. I might talk about work next week. We shall see. Otherwise, have a really wonderful week, everyone. And join me back here for another satisfaction session, 7 o'clock next Wednesday. Cheerio.